You looked at the monthly payment. You did the math in your head, decided you could swing it, and you signed. That number, the one the salesperson kept circling back to, felt like the whole decision. It wasn't. It was the part designed to feel like the whole decision. It's the smallest, friendliest piece of what a car costs you. The rest is sitting quietly in the background, draining you every single month. And nobody ever wrote it on a sheet of paper and slid it across the desk. The payment is the part they show you. The cost is everything they don't. And once you can see the whole thing, you can't unsee it. Welcome to Max Sense, where we take apart the psychology and the math behind the money decisions that quietly run your life. Not budgeting tips. Not get-rich nonsense. The actual machinery underneath. If that's the kind of thing you want to understand instead of just feel anxious about, subscribe and stick around. This one's going to change how you look at the thing parked in your driveway. Here's the strange thing about cars. Almost everyone shops for one the exact same way. You don't ask, what does this car cost? You ask, what's the monthly payment? And those two questions feel like the same question. They are not even close. The monthly payment is a number a lender constructs for you. They can make almost any payment work. They just stretch the loan longer, and the average new car loan now runs close to 6 years. Stretch it far enough, and a car you genuinely can't afford starts to feel affordable. That's not a glitch. That's the product. The payment is the dial they turn so the cost disappears behind it. And this isn't niche. In recent Experian data, around 80% of new vehicles are bought with financing, 4 out of 5. Americans are collectively carrying about $1.69 trillion in auto loan debt. Trillion with a T. One of the largest pools of consumer debt in the economy, and almost all of it sold one comfortable payment at a time. So while you stare at that one comfortable number, for other costs are running in the background. Depreciation, insurance, fuel, maintenance, and the biggest one of them never sends you a bill at all. Most people will spend more on cars over a lifetime than on almost anything except their home, and never once see the real number. So let's see it. For mechanisms. By the end, the payment will look like what it actually is, the cover story. Start with the number you already know. The average monthly payment on a new vehicle is now around $770. On a used vehicle, around $531. Those are Experian's most recent figures, the numbers most people anchor on. $770. You decide whether that fits, and if it fits, you buy. But here's the part the payment leaves out. That $770 is only the loan payment, principal plus interest. It tells you whether the bank payment fits your month. It does not tell you what the car costs to own. The American Automobile Association runs an annual study on exactly this, and it's all there in black and white for a typical new vehicle. The all-in cost of owning and operating it comes out to about $11,577 a year. Sit with that for a second. $11,500 a year. Divide it by 12 and you get roughly $965 a month. So the true cost of owning the average new car isn't $770 a month. All in, it's closer to $965. That figure swaps your loan payment for the car's real economic cost, depreciation, insurance, fuel, all of it. But the payment was never the real number. It's just the slice that's visible, because it's the only slice anyone hands you on paper. The rest arrives in pieces at different times. Depreciation, insurance, gas, upkeep from different places, so your brain never adds it up. AAA puts the all-in cost at about 77 cents for every single mile you drive, at 15,000 miles a year. Every mile. The drive to work, the grocery run, the pointless loop you take because you're bored. 77 cents, gone. Each time the odometer ticks over. And this is the trick your own mind plays. One clean monthly chunk, you feel it. The same money leaking in a dozen small streams. A fill-up, a premium, a repair you don't feel as a cost. You feel it as just life. Just what having a car is like. So you optimize the one number you can see and ignore the number that actually matters, the total. Let me be blunt. People negotiate 45 minutes to knock $30 off a monthly payment. Then they drive off having never once asked what the thing actually costs them per mile. They won the battle they could see and lost the one they couldn't. The payment is the part they show you. The cost is everything they don't. Now the single biggest cost of owning a car is not the gas. It's not the insurance. It's not even the loan. It's the one thing nobody ever sends you a bill for. Depreciation. The car losing value while it just sits there. Here's the cost nobody invoices. The moment you own a new car, it starts shedding value. And it sheds the most at the beginning. By Kelley Blue Book's pattern, about 16% in the first year alone. By the end of year 3, it's lost close to 40%. By year 5, around 55% of what you paid is simply gone. Not spent on anything. Just evaporated. Let's put real dollars on it. Take the average new car price AAA uses, roughly $39,000. Apply that curve. In the first year, that car loses around $6,230 of value. By year 3, the cumulative loss is about $15,186. By year 5, near $21,416. More than half the price of the car, before you've spent $1 on gas. $21,000. That's not a worst case. That's the average. That's everything going fine. And here's what makes depreciation so dangerous compared to every other cost. You can't see it. Insurance is a bill. Gas is the pump. The loan is every month. Depreciation never announces itself. The only moment you feel it is the day you sell or trade. By then, the loss already happened years ago. In AAA's breakdown, depreciation runs about $4,334 a year. The finance charges you complain about $1,131. Depreciation is nearly 4 times the cost of your loan interest. You spend energy resenting the interest rate. The cost, nearly 4 times bigger, doesn't even register. Because nobody ever made you sign for it. First, accept that it's real and it's the biggest line item. So depreciation is the silent giant. But a second set of costs does something almost worse. It grows while you're not watching. Insurance. And this is the part that changed while no one was looking. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, average household vehicle insurance spending was about $1,592 in 2022. The next year, 2023, it rose to around $1,775. By 2024, it hit roughly $1,993. That's about a 25% jump in just 2 years. Your premium didn't drift up. It sprinted. And most people absorbed that increase passively. The bill went up, they sighed, they paid it, they moved on. It became the new normal, quietly, the way these costs do. Then stack the rest of the hidden costs. In AA's model, fuel runs about 13 cents a mile. Maintenance, repairs, and tires together run about 11 cents a mile. License, registration, and taxes add around $813 a year on their own. None of these is the payment. None is the depreciation. Extra streams, each small enough to ignore, all flowing out at once. Drive 15,000 miles a year, roughly average. And that 13 cents a mile in fuel is close to $1,950. The 11 cents a mile in maintenance, repairs, and tires is another $1,650 or so. Add the $813 registration. Add the insurance, now near $2,000. You haven't touched the loan or depreciation, and you're past $6,000 a year. That's pure operating cost. Not one of these showed up in the calculation you made. None of it was on the desk when you signed. This is the thing. We treat the surprises as surprises, the repair, the premium hike, the registration. It's not an ambush. It's a schedule. It was always coming. You just never wrote it down. Now zoom all the way out and put the car where it actually sits in your life, inside your whole budget. The average household spent about $13,318 on transportation in 2024. Transportation is enormous. That's roughly 17% of everything they spent that year on everything. Against average before-tax income of about $104,207, transportation ate up close to 13% of gross income. Housing and transportation together accounted for more than half of all household spending. Half. The car isn't a line item. It's one of the 2 pillars of your entire financial life. And here's where the trap closes. Remember, the average new car loan now stretches close to 6 years. and the car loses around 40% of its value in the first 3. Put those two facts next to each other. For a big chunk of that loan, you owe more on the car than it's actually worth. You're underwater. The term is negative equity. Sell it tomorrow, and the sale wouldn't even cover what you still owe the bank. Industry data reported in early 2026 suggests roughly 3 in 10 people trading in a car are already underwater, up from around a quarter just 2 years earlier. 3 in 10. And what do most do? They roll the negative equity into the next loan, bolting old debt onto the new car. They start the new loan already behind on a car about to do the exact same thing. And the interest makes it worse, especially on the used side. New car loans sat near 6.4%. Used car loans closer to 11.3%. Often the buyers with the least cushion finance used cars at the higher rate on a depreciating asset for years. At the system level, around 2% of borrowers are now at least 30 days late, and that number is rising. That's millions of people discovering, one at a time, that the comfortable payment wasn't so comfortable after all. That's the machine. Long loan, fast depreciation, negative equity, roll it forward, repeat. Each turn, the cost compounds in the dark. People aren't trapped because they're stupid. They're trapped because every signal pointed at the payment. And the payment was the one number engineered to keep them from seeing the rest. Alright, you can see the whole thing now. So let's talk about what you can actually do with it. None of this means a car is a mistake. It means the decision is made on the real number, not the comfortable one. First, before you ever talk payment, calculate the cost per mile and the cost per year. Total cost, depreciation, insurance, fuel, upkeep, divided by how you actually live. That decides the car. Second, keep the loan short. A shorter loan feels like a higher payment, and that's the point. If a 3 or 4 year loan feels unaffordable, the car was unaffordable. The long loan was just hiding it. Third, let someone else eat the worst of the depreciation. The steepest drop is the first couple of years. A car 2 or 3 years old already took its biggest hit, most of the function for a fraction of the value loss. Fourth, get the insurance quote on the specific car before you buy, not after. Premiums vary enormously by model, and you want that number inside your decision, not as a surprise the following month. So here's where we landed. The payment was never the cost. It was the cover story. One friendly number standing in front of depreciation, insurance, fuel, upkeep, and a loan stretched to hide it all. The car in your driveway has been costing you the whole time, in a dozen small streams you never added up, with the single biggest loss being the one nobody ever billed you for. You can't unsee that now. And that's the point. Next time you're at a desk and someone keeps circling that monthly number, you'll know what it's doing there. The payment is the part they show you. The cost is everything they don't. Now go look at the real number. I'll see you in the next one.